Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, here to talk about the truth about 2K22. Now, what this is mostly going to be is me just recapping all the information that dropped a couple days ago. I've taken some time to process it, kind of understand what everything meant a little bit deeper, and just knowledgeably tell you guys what I think of everything, give my opinions on it, and then I'll also talk about what console I'm planning to play on between the current gen or next gen. There's still a lot of discretion and things that are left to be seen, to put it simply, when it comes to trailers, what the actual park and city are going to look like, gameplay, my player builder, all types of stuff like that. So obviously it's very premature to sit here and act like you know which console you're going to play on if you have access to both already. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And let's try this 1 to 500 likes. Now we also have a cool little clip right here from 2K's TikTok. I gotta say, very cool condensed information all into 1 minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this with all you guys who maybe clicked on the video expecting a very condensed, easy to understand format, and you hadn't seen this exact TikTok for yourself already. So we'll go ahead and let this play out.
Offense, breaking down defenders off the dribble with new signature moves and combos, precision jump shooting, dunking in traffic, and pulling off alley-oops have all become more skill-based. On defense, we added a completely revamped shot contest and blocking system, highlighting a number of new defensive tools at your disposal. Seasons will expand to not only MyTeam, but MyCareer and the W, bringing more content, more awards, more ways to play, and a brand new way to level up your MyPlay. Now for Park, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S players will step into an all-new version of the city that also has a new quest system, matchmaking options, and more. PS4 and Xbox One players will set sail on an all-new dedicated basketball community, a neighborhood built on a sailing cruise ship. For MyCareer, on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, the all-new city and the MyCareer story become one in a groundbreaking narrative experience with new features like hidden talents, an upgraded home lifestyle, and more. On PS4 and Xbox Series One, players will also get a whole new MyCareer experience. MyTeam for NBA 2K22 evolves as the ultimate experience for building and competing with your own dream team on day one, adding MyTeam Draft as well as even more additions coming throughout the year, including an original all-new game mode this holiday season. Stay tuned for more 2K22 updates.
Alright, cool, right? Now, here's the thing. Obviously, a lot of that should be taken lightly. When they say revamped offense, revamped defense, honestly, it just means new gameplay overall, which, you know, you really get in 2K every single year, for being completely honest. It's very different from the game that was previous to. Now, obviously, the principles of 2K kind of stay the same. Animations may stay the same, stuff like that. But obviously, you know, gameplay from year to year obviously changes every single time. So that's kind of a given. I don't think you should really be looking at these two tabs completely different. I will say the whole new blocking system, obviously, it means they're paying a little bit more attention to the fact that contact dunks and stuff like that were super OD in next gen, and obviously they're looking at that a little bit, and obviously they hear the feedback, because honestly this was one of the most ridiculous years as far as just demigod builds, having the ability to shoot from super far. People have to respect your jump shot. You just blow by them easy, get the, you know, contact dunk from behind. Dudes just get you stuck in animations that you don't want, and all types of stuff like that. And even when you are playing good defense, you still don't even get rewarded for it sometimes. So I'm sure they notice all that type of stuff, but we're here to talk about something a little bit deeper than just the gameplay stuff, because obviously that's to be determined, and we don't know what to think of it until we actually see it and get our hands on it ourselves. Now, one last thing on this little topic right here, I do hope that this right here, all this highlighted tab, I hope this does mean that they're adding new dribble moves, like actual signature styles and stuff like that you can equip, different things than what we had for, it feels like for the last 3 years, it's been almost the exact same, other than maybe, I think honestly, yeah, since 2K18, all these signature styles have pretty much been the same, except for a couple of size up packages that got added of just, you know, dribble chains in 2K18 that you could just pretty much just chain together, stuff like that by just flicking up on the right stick, right? Anyway, as far as the defense stuff goes, obviously, you know, I'm hopeful for defense getting a little bit of a buff, because obviously, you know, we are lacking quite a bit of it. But what I really want to talk about, and we'll just skip down to it right here, is matchmaking options in the city. Now, this is only PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, so obviously the next gen consoles, right? So the city opens up new and quicker alternatives to get into online hoops. My players can enter select matchmaking buildings to be placed into immediate competition. Matchmaking sessions will be available for a number of game types and will contribute to all my player progression, or progress, either way. Anyway, long story short is, I'm super excited about this. Now, I really hope that they have an actual ranked system to this. Now, if it's just matchmaking and it's kind of just for randoms to get easy matchups where you don't really have to worry about people judging your 82 overall self with like no badges or anything like that, or even if you're hopping in there with like a 70 something like that, and again, no badges, I understand why they would add this. It's really cool for the sake of people just getting quick games, not having to worry about all the BS and squatting up or anything like that. I do hope, obviously, let you bring in squads. And here's where they need to kind of separate these two things, right? Because this is why I say there should be a ranked mode to this. Now, say I, myself, am someone who's trying to get quick games, but I want them to be highly competitive and, like I said, more of the stage presence, or 3v3 Pro-Am where it's ranked. I hope they have something like that where it's for sweats, because what I really would hate, right, is if my squad with like me, Kitchen, and then like a lockdown that I'm really cool with, and we're all three really good at what we do, right? I really hope that they don't allow somebody like my trio to match up with somebody who's just going in there with complete randoms. You know, like I said, could end up with a 70 overall and a, you know, no badges or something like that. All three of them could be like that. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of their time. They're not going to enjoy their time on the game. For me, it's not exactly productive in the sense that I would like to do. I'd like to play the competition and competitive games. Now, if there was a place like the 3v3 Pro-Am from 2K20 where it was really good matchmaking, it matched you up with other top teams, and they actually showed the proper rankings. Now, it was split between 5v5 and 3v3 Pro-Am as far as where your standings were, but my team was number one after the first 2 or 3 months, and it was so awesome to get back-to-back games of playing top 10 teams on the game. That was fire. I loved it. If it would like be me only playing people that are in the top 100, that'd be even more cool as well. And then for the people who, you know, either want to play as kind of just unranked and not worry about it, you would get the easier competition. I am one that does advocate for skill-based matchmaking. I really do like it. I personally feel like it matches up bad people with bad people, or if you're not even bad and you just don't win very often, again, you're matching up in a situation where you can kind of play somebody that doesn't care about winning as much either. But you are not going to have a good time if you're playing some sweat who has a 98 win percent, you know, and he's just stomping the people who like really don't care about winning. And that person who has a 98 win percentage should not be wanting to play scrubs in the first place. And apologies if that like word does offend you of the whole scrubs thing, right? But somebody with a 98 win percent in park or whatever it may be, or you go hard in the stage, you want the competition like me, you should be like that. You don't want to play those people who are trying to just have a good time on the game. If you're playing the game competitively, you should play other people who want to play the game competitively. Or if you're wanting to showcase your skills, you shouldn't be doing it against people who couldn't even care less or have an incomplete build, like a 70 overall with no badges. Again, it's just common sense in my opinion, and I really do hope that they add an aspect of the game that is ranked, and then this right here would be great for people who, you know, kind of just want to hoop. They want to play the game for fun. They want to hop in, get really quick games, not waste a whole hour of their day trying to get games because nobody wants to play with them because they're too low of an overall or too low with badges. It'd be a great kind of cesspool, in my opinion, for all the people who kind of want to hop in with just randoms and they don't want to, you know, spend the time of trying to squad up. Or that'd be a good place for you to find people to squad up with, where maybe you start as a quote-unquote random who doesn't really know anybody, but you meet people through this matchmaking process right here, and you can actually showcase your skill and your IQ and stuff like that, and then they want to party up with you. You meet new friends pretty much on the game that you can roll with. I think this is fire. I think that's great, and I'm really happy for all the randoms out there. I know I say that, and it sounds so offensive when I say it like that, but just know I say it lovingly. But I am really happy for all the people out there who really don't have a lot of friends and partners to play the game with. On top of that too, the fact that it's PS5 and Xbox, you know, next generation, where it's really hard on a lot of you guys, as I'm sure. It's hard on me as well, where some of your people that you were playing with on the old consoles don't have the new one, and now you have nobody to play with. I'm sure it's even harder if you're not a content creator as well. So I understand your perspective entirely when it comes to that. Now, I will talk a little bit more about some of the next gen stuff, but we will quickly transition over to the, you know, the cruise ship of the current gen console, or I should say previous gen console. So PS4 and Xbox One, you know, all this stuff right here. I'm surprised they even have PC listed on that. Don't even have PC on the next gen stuff. That's crazy. Anyway, long story short, they have the cruise ship. It's going to be, I think it'll be really cool scenery. I think this is going to be really nice for park players and stuff like that. And I'm rooting for both games. I'll just put it like that. I know a lot of people out there, they're just plotting on the demise of whatever game they're not planning to play. Me personally, I'm rooting for both of them. I'm looking forward to hopefully making content on both as well. And if one game is really, really bad, then I'm just all in on the other one. Simple as that. That's how I see it. I'm really looking forward to the competitive aspect that next gen provides, and me being someone who kind of wants to go for the 2K League next year potentially as well. I think it's going to be big time to be at least playing Pro-Am on next gen, because I don't think 2K is ever going to promote a current gen game, like a previous gen, not up to date game. In terms of like tying it to their Pro-Am and 2K League stuff, I think it's very obvious they're going to try and tie that to the next gen stuff. So obviously this is where Pro-Am is the most likely going to end up regardless. And then we'll see as far as the current gen stuff goes. But anyway, as far as the scenery for this, I think it's gonna be super cool. Obviously, like it says, it's on the cruise ship. Now, I'm in my brain, I'm like tying this to like a pirate ship, and it sounds so dumb in my mind. Maybe it's just because of those previous park events that we've had in 2K. But the whole cruise ship thing, this can still be cool. It can still like look luxurious and kind of stylish, I would say, or clean, I guess is a better word. I think of this as like a pirate ship, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna be so lame, it's gonna be such BS. But actually, like I said, this could be a lot of like really clean accessories, and just everything stylistically would look good and all types of stuff like that. So I'm actually thinking this is actually be really cool. And then on top of that too, obviously when, you know, shoreside events, where maybe this is throughout the course of the year, certain park events, so to say, where the ship will stop at certain places. That's going to be fire. That sounds really cool. I know a lot of people are going to be watching this video like, oh, don't get your hopes up, this is what happens every year. And maybe I'll look back on this video and be even more disgusted at it than I was last year's, where I mean, obviously if you look back at my review of like this whole, you know, 2K article right here, or whatever these are called, I forget, 2K courtside report, yeah, that's what it is. Obviously, if you look back at the old one of 2K21, it was super excited. And, you know, that was the vibe between everybody. It was super, super excited amongst the whole community. The city was looking fire. That looked like a really cool idea. Affiliations were back. Everybody was geeked about that. And obviously, it all just fell down entirely. Now, I will say that's all subject to just gameplay, honestly. Like, if 2K21 Next Gen had good gameplay, be a great game. I really don't doubt that viewership is going to be tough to come by. But here's the thing. I do think a lot of people just don't watch next gen gameplay because it's not good. Now, you can probably agree with that. I know I at least agree with that, because I don't watch other people's next gen gameplay or anything like that. I really don't watch much 2K21 in general, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can kind of feel that too. And look, don't feel bad if you don't click on 2K21 videos from me or anybody else in the community and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of the content creators, we understand. I mean, I myself don't even watch like 2K21 content in the first place, but I will say, if it were a good game and really entertaining, or there was more to learn about it, I guess is another thing too, where the game is so straightforward and really there's not much to it as far as like, you know, what's the badges you want to run, what's the animations you want to run. It's very straightforward and very simple in both games, current gen and next gen. So if the game has a little bit more diversity to it in the My Player Builder and stuff like that, or the gameplay itself is just entertaining and really fun to watch, then obviously I myself am going to start watching, and obviously I would expect that you guys probably will too. That's just an easy, I don't see why people think next gen is just dead from the jump just because less people might have access to the console. I think a lot of people would watch it if it's a good game and a good gaming experience to watch. Anyway, one thing I want to talk about real quick as well before we get off of this is the idea that they have for the My Career. So this right here, this could be so fire, and I think this is going to be a really like homey aspect to it. And I say that with like a Y, H-O-M-E-Y. It feels very at home, right? Now, obviously, I mean, that's part of this right here. It literally says it. But moving up in the professional world means expanding your home lifestyle central to your My Career narrative and progress. Your personal hub represents your place in the journey to the NBA. Now, this pretty much what I'm saying. You have like a crib, like an actual house. Now that's gonna be so fire if it's on some GTA stuff where you can like walk through the whole thing, not just some like 2K, you know, quote unquote, what was it? Just a mycourt pretty much of just like in the past, you know, all types of, you got one room, central room pretty much. Now obviously they had like the Jordan mycourts and stuff like that that were super cool back in the day, and I think if there is like a progression system to this, it's gonna feel so cool to actually somewhat grind your My Career for a cooler experience and a cooler aesthetic to your My Career, you know, mycourt or your house, whatever the course, whatever it's called, pretty much is what I'm getting at. It was super cool back in like 2K16 to have that Jordan court. In 2K17, they also had something along the lines where you could have like a cabin, you could have another Jordan court as well, like the high rise is what it was called. All types of stuff like that, bro. It'd be so cool if they brought that back and kind of touch it up even more. Now, I don't mean just like spend a couple VC, you know, a little bit of VC here and there to change the wallpaper like the stupid mycourt and current gen and 2K20 was. I mean, like, this would be so cool if you could get different, like, actual architecture areas or like scenery that completely changes the game as far as all that stuff goes. Super cool. And if they like add on top of that too, like an actual interactive 1v1 mycourt or 2v2 3v3, all types of stuff like that, people used to love that back in the day, and I think that'd be really cool if we were able to bring content like that back, so to say. So I think this right here is really, really cool that they're thinking to, you know, kind of add like an actual house for you in this next gen console. Now, one thing to just mention, this is only next gen that it's talking about doing this right here. I don't know what the plan is for current gen with the cruise ship, as far as like if you have like your own little like hub pretty much that you can just walk into or anything like that. But either way, you get the deal. Now, the one last thing that I'm going to talk about right here is pretty much what they're planning to do with these quote unquote hidden talents. Now, this is going to be all types of BS for anybody, but I will say this would be really cool. Y'all know I'm kind of into like the hip hop rap stuff myself a little bit. This would be so cool if it's actually taken seriously. Now, we know back in like 2K18, you know, it's just complete BS. Like, you were just mixing certain beats and stuff like that. It was just a bunch of garbage. Honestly, that's what I'm expecting it to be in this as well. They're just kind of bringing it back, and you know, I'm not expecting this to do much really, but it'd be really cool if this somehow takes off. I don't really expect it to, but just saying. It's a cool little addition that they're kind of nodding to. I don't even want to gas this up too much because, like I said, it's probably just complete BS anyway. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. Obviously, like I said, we went over the cruise ship for the current gen, matchmaking in the city for the next gen. You know, oh, another thing too, obviously with how dead the next gen city looks at times, they wanted to add more NPCs and stuff like that, and you know, kind of make it feel more, what's the word? I guess more lively, I guess, throughout the course of the city in next gen. So there's gonna be a little bit more NPCs and stuff like that and people to interact with. I don't even think that's that big a deal, really. I mean, I will say if they bring back the warehouses and stuff like that, it'd be really fire, because that was a really easy way of getting badges in next gen, and I really do appreciate that from 2K. Like, a lot of people take that for granted in my opinion, and it's really, really nice to be able to just get double my points at any given moment in a 3v3 setting that is really easy to exploit and kind of cheese. So I was a big fan of that. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. I will make one mention of the MyTeam stuff real quick for anybody who's still watching this somehow. I don't know how you'd be a MyTeam fan and just sit through all that park stuff. But anyway, if you are interested in the MyTeam stuff, I will say they're bringing back this MyTeam draft. I don't know where the exact quote is on that. There we go. MyTeam draft. So this has been a thing, you know, it says obviously making its long requested return in 2K22. It's been a thing in the past. I think 2K17 or 18 was where it last was. It might have been 17 low key, but this is gonna be a really good way of introducing people to MyTeam for free, because what I was a big fan of this for is the fact that I didn't have to spend all types of money and all types of time on the actual MyTeam of building MT up to actually compete with people, where you could really just hop into this, you know, spend a little bit of MT for the entry fee or whatever it may be, and then boom, you can draft your team. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's gonna be really cool for that. I think that's a huge addition. And then one last thing to mention with MyTeam, it's like cross-gen progress. So pretty much whatever you do as far as your cards go or your progress on current gen transfers over to next gen. I'm pretty sure that's how it was already on this year anyway. So either way, you guys get the deal with that. I think just for anybody's curiosity too, whether you're buying next gen or current gen, your VC should transfer over as well, just like it did on this year's game. It's just obviously your builds and your rep won't. I think that would have been really good if they would have let the rep transfer over, but I can understand why they wouldn't do that. Maybe one game is easier to grind the rep than the other, then it's respected not equally, and honestly it could just create a really bad wave of all types of people only playing one version of the game. So, or people would say people who maybe are exploiting the next gen being easier to get rep on would, you know, kind of defame the rep race, so to say. So it's gonna be really interesting. We're gonna have two different rep races going on at once with current gen and next gen. I will say this has a lot of potential to be a really big thing for the community, that there is two games. It could be very debilitating too. Maybe both games suck and then boom, we're right back to where we are right now, and that would be horrible. But as long as one of these two games is good, I'm really looking forward to it. And if they're both good, then I'm planning on making content on both of them. Simple as that. Whatever the good game is, I'm playing it. And if they're both good, like I said, I'm playing both. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this 1 to 500 likes, like I said in the intro. If you made it to the end of the video, put Laker in the comments to search supports me all the way through. And hey man, this is a really, like, I would say free-flowing video. Wasn't really too many cuts in it or anything like that, obviously. So Hope you guys do appreciate that style. We're going to get back into the Pro-Am stuff pretty soon as well. I got the Rising Stars tournament that I'll be showing you guys. Playoffs should be starting pretty relatively soon. And I'll update you guys as far as like our record and stuff like that on the next video as well. It's going to be really cool. So we're going to end this 2K21 stuff on a high note with the Pro-Am. I'm going to keep trucking it out. I'm obviously not going hard on the content like, you know, daily or anything like that. But trust, bro, when 2K22 comes out, we're right back on that stuff I was in 20. Daily videos. Again, if both games are good, I'm planning to constantly be uploading every single day throughout the whole course of the whole course of the year. It's gonna be big time. I'm expecting a lot from myself and a lot from the community. So anyway, that's all for video, man. Hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.